Are there advantages to aging? Yes, I am Debbi-Jo Horton, and welcome to Advantages to Aging. Join my guests and I as we discuss aging and what makes for a healthy lifestyle, which results in a quality life. Thank you for joining me today.
Welcome back, listeners. I am having a blast here today with Joanne Mello of Healthy Habits with Joanne. If you remember, we had an amazing episode not too long ago with Joanne. And if you didn't listen to it, go back to the Advantages to Aging website, find it, listen to it. Amazing tips. And we're going to keep on going. Welcome back, Joanne.
Thank you, DJ. It's nice to be here. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you so much. And what I appreciate even more is that Joanne has amazing information that I always take something away that I go, I never knew that. And we're rolling into the holiday season. And, oftentimes we overindulge and then we pay for it after the new year. So we're going to hope that some of these things that Joanne shares with us today are going to help you to avoid that. So, Joanne, why don't you get us started with what some of those mistakes are that we make?
Yeah, so great. Today I'm going to share 5 of the top diet mistakes that people make all the time. But given that it's October and the Halloween candy is going to start the holiday eating, right? So, given that, the holidays are here, let's connect these mistakes into all of the habits that we have over those holidays. So, the first one I want to talk about is crash dieting or saving up your calories. So, crash dieting actually sets your body up with some deprivation. Your body needs food. When you crash diet, it actually sends a signal to your brain that you're trying to starve it, and your body shuts down. And the only thing that crash dieting really does for us is it helps us lose water. So that's not so much a bad thing, but it also helps us lose muscle. So we may lose some numbers on this scale, but we're not shrinking. Isn't that what we want? Right? We want to shrink.
Yeah, you need to have those muscles to lift that turkey come November.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then saving calories. I know I'm so guilty of this. If I knew I was going out for dinner, going to a holiday party, Thanksgiving, I'd skip breakfast because I'm like, oh, I want to be able to eat all of the turkey and all the fixings at Thanksgiving. But when you save your calories, you're putting your body in a state of stress. And when your body's in a state of stress, it activates some hormones that affect your hunger. Cortisone, ghrelin, leptin, those are the key hormones that cause you to eat more and overeat from eating more. So and then when that happens, you're usually going to make poor choices. You're going to grab the goodies more than the healthier foods. So what I like to say for my clients is the one habit that I can share is to try to eat a balanced plate. Is look at your plate. The diet revolution has us looking at taking stuff off the plate, but you want to look at your plate and say, what is missing on my plate? You always want to balance protein, healthy fat, and fiber to get your hunger signals and all of your hormones to work for you.
And those hormones can be really tricky, especially during the stress of the holidays.
100%. Absolutely. The second habit I want to share, and this works for year round, but these holiday parties, is sipping your calories. So oftentimes we're trying to, drink juice, energy drinks, pre-made protein drinks, and they're actually loaded with sugar. We think we're doing a good thing, but the reality is we're loading our bodies up with sugar. And we all know that sugar jacks up your hormones, your insulin, it affects your cortisol, and that signals fat. And if you're in a journey that you want to shrink your body, sipping your calories is not a good idea when it's loaded with sugar. But let's get over to the cocktails with the holiday parties, because we all
Those are the kind of
know,
drinks that I thought you were talking about.
well, I had to touch on everyday life, but the holiday parties they're a struggle for all of us, right? So one of the things is you want to show up with a plan. Okay. Have a plan in your head of how much are you going to have to drink? That's a number one thing. If you just show up with no plan at all, and people keep refilling your glass, it's just way too easy to drink. You want to have a plan, right? I'm going to have 2 drinks tonight. All right. And the other thing is you always want to balance your cocktails with water. You get dehydrated really quick. That results in being bombed and also a hangover the next day. So balancing your drinks with water is a huge factor. And then the other thing is try to avoid the sugary drinks. Choose maybe a light beer, some wine, or if you have a mixed drink, try using some soda or some salsa water. And that helps to balance that sugar out, because those sugary drinks, those cocktails, those mixed drinks, they're loaded with sugar.
Yeah, that's a good point. I laugh because one of my friends told me that, well, vodka doesn't have any calories. So if you just have vodka and ice, you're balancing your water and your liquor. I was like, I don't think it works that way.
Well, you definitely have less sugar. That's for
That's
sure. And
true.
actually, vodka is one of the lower sugar alcohols out there. So it's probably, I always say that there's no good or bad. There's just better, best, and even better, right? So yeah.
There is a dizzying array of wellness products on the market. Choosing the right one for you is complicated and overwhelming, especially when many products only address one element of aging. Do you find yourself wondering, which supplement should I take? What are the benefits? Are they safe and effective? What do I need the most? Why are there so many options? At Neora, we believe simplicity is key and results are a must. Therefore, we made it our mission to develop a comprehensive wellness solution to address many of the most common aging concerns in a way that has never been done before. Introducing Neora's first of its kind streamlined approach to age fighting. You can feel inside and see on the outside. Neora's Youth Factor Complete Vitality Complex Supplement and Youth Factor Superfood and Antioxidant Boost Powder with Vitamin C.
So the third habit is where people are eating their emotions, right? We all tend to snack and reach for food for comfort, whether it's whatever's going on. And the holidays bring up lots of emotions with people. And stress, of course, is the biggest one that really rules the roost. Is holidays are a stressful time for so many people, and even just the hustle and bustle, that's stressful. And even when you're happy, it's, the hustle and bustle of the holidays. So how do you stop that? The first thing is recognize the emotion. Ask yourself before you're grabbing the food, like, am I hungry? What am I feeling? How do I feel? And then when you realize, like, okay, I'm just feeling stressed, or maybe I'm overwhelmed because I don't have my wrapping done, or I haven't got my shopping done, or whatever, then you can say, is food going to solve that problem? And, your first reaction is like, oh, heck yeah, right? I know if I eat that chocolate bar, I'm going to feel so much better. But are you really? Right? You're not. And when you ask yourself these questions, it actually helps you make a better connection in your brain that food isn't going to be the answer, right? You need nourishment from something else, whatever that may be. So I have my clients actually create kind of in advance, again, like with the plan, a nourishment menu, right? What can you do when you want to go grab a snack? Make a list of kind of like a cheat sheet of things that you can do. And obviously, you know what, maybe it has to be like a 1-minute thing, or maybe it can be a 15-minute walk, but you can't always take a 15-minute walk when you feel like a snack.
Well, and
So,
sometimes it's too cold, depending
well,
on
that's true if you're
where
in New
you
England,
live.
right? Exactly, exactly. So if you have this like little nourishment menu handy where you can literally look at that and be like, okay, I got, 1 minute between calls or whatever that may be, what can I do in 1 minute? Or maybe I have 15, 20 minutes. What can I do? But this is one way that help kind of defer you from that emotion that just wants to grab the food. The
Mm.
other thing is, and this is the number one habit that I always share, when you're having that emotional moment, you know what? When all hell breaks loose, is if you're just gonna have it, is never eat one thing. Always pair your food with another food. What's that mean? Is, for example, let's just even say you're going to have a healthy apple, right? So an apple is full of fiber, but how that fiber reacts in your body will be so much better if you pair it with some protein. So maybe an apple with some nut butter, or maybe an apple with hummus is going to react in your body much better than just the apple alone. So now, if you're going to have chocolate cake, that's all sugar. We know that, right? But if you eat the chocolate cake with maybe a handful of almonds, that's going to slow down the sugar absorption because the almonds are protein, healthy fat, and fiber. The almonds are like a big win. So that's one of the things, is the habit: never eat one food. Always pair whatever you're eating.
So does chocolate covered almonds count
Yeah,
as
well,
one of
that's a
those
good one.
treat foods? Especially dark chocolate covered
Yeah, there we
almonds?
go. I like your thinking because dark chocolate is definitely a lot healthier than the milk chocolate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's I like you. I like the way you think, I have to say.
And I always like the way that you think because you give me permission to have that little treat and
You know
feel
what?
good about it and
Mm,
not feel guilty, which oftentimes will make you, even if you don't, if you're not hungry for it, it's like you feel guilty for having eaten it. And then you say, oh, well, I've already cheated, or I already, did something I shouldn't. Let me just have more of that because now I'm going to have to punish myself. No.
100%. No, you know what, DJ, you nailed that. That is exactly it. And that's why I call myself the no diet coach, because it's about getting away from that guilt, getting that food freedom. When you look at food as functional food, how does this food function in my body? More so, is this food going to make me feel guilty after? Right? This
Yes.
is where you want to look at food. Food isn't good and bad. It's just, how does it function? And then you choose, how do you want to function? So it does come down to that. But you know what? Letting go of the guilt, that just adds the stress, and then it just adds to more eating, and it's a cycle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that food pairing was so freeing for me when you talked about that. I was like, "Oh my goodness. Preach, woman. I want to hear about this."
Thank you. Thank you. And it's so true. And you know what? It just makes eating simpler, because you're just looking to say, what can I eat with this? And you
Right.
go in whether you have a visual list or a mental list of, the protein, the fats, and the fibers, and be like, okay, what can I eat with this? I have my clients do, like, if you remember when you were in, I always say third grade, where you used to get the matching columns, match this to that, match this.
Oh,
And I
yes.
have them do like a matching program where it's like, okay, let's list the proteins, let's list the fibers, let's list the fats. Now, what do you like? And then I have them match, so that, kind of like connect those dots, so that they're always have top of mind, like, oh yeah, when I eat this, I'm going to match it with that, because it's something they enjoy, you know? So that's like an easy habit to get them, making those balanced meals, and being able to eat those occasional snacks.
So, listeners, I bet you thought that you were going to have to go through the holidays and not have any of the goodies. But did you just hear what Joanne said? Make yourself those lists. They'll be like gifts that you get to choose one from each column, and you can open a different gift every day. And that will help you get through the holidays in a much healthier, not only state of mind, but state of body. Thank you again, Joanne, for another fantastic episode of Advantages to Aging. Listeners, what I could always ask you, what one thing are you going to implement right away, but I think that you can probably pick 3 or 4 to implement right away with this show. So enjoy your holidays. Don't overstress and overeat. And thank you again, Joanne.
Thank you, DJ. It was a pleasure to be here.
Do you think one of the biggest advantages to aging is all the knowledge we gain along the way? Me too. What did you learn today? Share with me in my Facebook group with the same name as this podcast, Advantages to Aging. Now hit subscribe so you don't miss all the tips to come in future episodes.